Adrian and Alice, hello. My name is Nye McGee with EURweb.com. Pleasure to speak with you today about Renegade Nell. How would you each describe your characters in Renegade Nell, and what aspects of these roles did you most find intriguing to portray?
Um, Sophia is so interesting to me. I think she starts off very morally sound. I think she's very intelligent. She's on par with her father, Lord Blanchford. And but she is pretty quiet. She's pretty reserved and doesn't really feel the power yet to kind of speak up and take space. And as the series progresses, we see things that she learns from Poynton and her ability to kind of step into that power as the episodes continue. And I think yeah, she's very intelligent and she becomes very powerful. And I think she's a bit enamored and jealous of Nell, of the power that Nell holds. And I think she's very much trying to keep her family together and protect her family and protect what they have and kind of at any cost. And that was all very exciting to play. It was also my first time in London. Was shooting this for 8 months, which was so much fun, and I really fell in love with it. I felt very privileged to be able to come here and work as an actor, working on a period piece and working in the costumes and of course Sally Wainwright and Ben Taylor, who really had this idea to make it very charged and as kind of risky as we can make it for a Disney Plus show.
For me, the image of the character was that Poynton is he is bad essentially, and it's great fun to play someone who's bad, who's misunderstood, and who will go to any lengths to achieve what he wants. That's the great thing. It's nice to be able to play someone who's Machiavellian and lies and uses, underhand means to control people. One of the things that I really enjoyed playing, I had to sit down and talk to Ben Taylor, the first block director, about just how we were going to treat the magic. And he talked about it being something that was physically conjured and cost the person conjuring it, and it had a real skill to it and so on. And so I really enjoyed conjuring the magic at the end of episode 2, which I'm sure is not a spoiler, but it was wonderful to get into that and create the bedrock of that world that they were going to exist in. And then fight sequences, I love those. Yeah, that was fun.
Well, I was going to ask you guys that question. So Adrian said episode 2. I was going to ask, does each of your characters have any standout moments or any episodes that you're most excited about viewers experiencing? Adrian just mentioned episode 2. How about you, Alice?
I mean, episode 8 I think is pretty epic.
I
feel like and I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like the end of episode 1 and the end of episode 8, there's some great stuff.
Yeah,
that was really fun to shoot. And I think what made it that, other than the very cool action sequences that are so fun, are the fact that most of those 2 moments were when there were the most people on set. So we got like these really fun group scenes where I hardly get to act with Louisa, and having moments, together and having the kind of crew back together was really fun.
How about you, Adrian? How would you describe your character's dynamic with Renegade Nell?
He is the ultimate threat for her.
Oh, the ultimate.
Yeah. I'm trying to give anything away. Okay. Start again. Renegade Nell is the ultimate threat for Poynton, because, and also for Poynton, for Nell, Poynton is the ultimate threat for her. They can't achieve what they want to achieve if the other one is in the way, so they have to deal with each other. And without giving too much away, that's kind of how it. Yes.
Nell is definitely the focal point, but face to face, less time together.
Yeah.
So do you think when we're introduced to these characters at the start of the series and we go on this journey and we see their development, by the time we end, the last frame in the final episode, do you each think that us, the audience, we're going to be surprised by where these characters end up?
I think it's very surprising.
Yeah,
I think we
a lot of
all
twists.
have a really wonderfully complex story or trajectory. And I think it really does shift a lot from beginning to end, all individually and together. There's moments in episode 8 where we're like, wait, what happens? How are we okay? And at the very end, I feel like it really does set up a potential series 2, where we'll be in very different places than where we were at the top of this season.
I think the audience are gonna, by the end of episode 8, the journey they've been on, what Sally's created, what Ben and Amanda and MJ have done, is crafted a series that the audience will cry for the characters, they'll cheer for them, they'll be frightened for them, they'll be excited by what they see on screen. It's thrilling, it's fun, it's good for the whole family. It's quite a difficult genre to get right. And in my humble opinion, with Sally and Ben and the other directors and the producers on board doing this, they really have got it right. I like the fact that when we joined at the beginning, it wasn't just, this is what happens to you and that's what you play. Episodes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they weren't fully written yet. So what we did as actors in episodes 1 and 2, when we started filming, informed how they structured the story later on. We were surprised at certain things.
Of course, yeah.
With that kind of group of people really listening to each other and being creative, I'm very proud of this. And I think Disney have got something that audiences will really, really like.
Well, of course, this series features a dynamic, diverse ensemble cast. How do you think this diversity enhances the story?
I think great storytelling is about getting the audience to shift their perspective. The more people you include, the better your perspectives. The more people you include, the greater the perspectives, the greater your ability to tell stories. Then you don't get things thrown at you through the same lens in the same way all the time. It becomes different, it becomes reinvented.
Right.
And if, when people bring up the racial question, I'm like, at that time in history, Black people had been invented. So it's a really good show for that.
Yeah, and I think there's many different people from different backgrounds in many different places in this show that are contrasting to each other. And I think it's really fascinating. Enyi and I have this really interesting scene somewhere in the middle of the season. And it really does show you how kind of lost Sophia's perspective is, but she only knows this thing. She knows Rassilus as her friend, and he sees things very differently. And I think that does speak to, things that we can still learn today. But yeah, I totally agree with what you said. The more, the better. And the more, absolutely.
Well, right on. Adrian, Alice, that's my time. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank
you, Nell.
you.